Hello all, welcome back to Winter Talks, where we talk to some crazy people about some crazy stuff, because let's be honest, if you're not crazy, you're not here. Today, we have special guest, Rykage. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm not too bad. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, of course. So, yeah, we talk to the crazy people. So how about you introduce your crazy self to the audience? What do you do as a content creator in the
Absolutely.
scene?
Well, what don't I do, really? I'm a bit of a master of everything, really. No, but I started doing YouTube and I started doing, the main reason for it was anime.
Mhm.
That's how it started. And I sort of creeped into doing reactions, which is what I'm now most known for. So I make a bit of everything really, but my main thing is I do reactions, and I do reactions to mostly animated things. So Ruby, Hell of a Boss, Vox Machina, those have been the main. I'd say the main things on my channel that have really, got it going. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been fun.
But so in your introduction, I guess, to the scene here, you started with anime. That was the thing that you
Yeah,
covered for a good while, I want to say, before I found you. Because I found you with the
I did.
first
Yeah.
hell of a stuff. But let's
Hmm.
go to the very first video that I found from you, which was, I believe, I know it was something Naruto related
Cool. Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
had to be.
Yeah. You could sum my life up by it's something Naruto related, really.
Yeah, it was
But
the Naruto character tier list. That's
yeah.
the first one
So
that I found.
yeah, that was the first video I put out on this channel. So basically, me and a friend of mine who's also a huge Naruto lover, we sat down and we found a tier list of pretty much every single character or every notable character that shows up in Naruto, and we just listed them off from S tier to F tier and what we thought. It wasn't anything to do with like power levels or anything, because I tend to stay away from anything that can start an argument. And
Yeah,
I'm sure if you're an anime watcher, you know people are pretty passionate about their favorite characters, and they don't like being disrespected.
yeah,
So it was solely just what we like, and if we like the character and where we wanted to put them.
yeah. And we'll get into it later. That's the reason I'm so surprised you got into Death Battle, because that's all about power scaling. But again, we'll get into
Yeah.
that later. So Naruto, where did that love begin? I guess.
So coming out of the womb is where it began. It's been a long time. I don't even remember how I actually started watching Naruto. It's been that long. Oh no, I do remember actually. So when I used to live with my parents, and I think I was 6, 7, 8 years old or something. There used to be a channel that was on TV that unfortunately no longer exists. That was called Jagex
Hmm.
in. Oh, sorry, Jetix. That's what it was. I always get them mixed up because I play too much RuneScape. Yeah, it was called Jetix, and it had some of the best stuff on it. So of course it had Naruto on it. It had American Dragon and Danny Phantom and all that great stuff. Codename Kids Next Door.
Yes.
I could go on, but yeah. So that's basically why I watched like the first episode, and it just kind of spiraled from there. And here I am, 20 plus years later, still in the same boat, still rewatching it just because I can.
Yeah. And for a good while, the channel was mainly anime based. There were Fairy Tale was a good one that
Mhm.
you had reviewed for a long while. You had Tokyo Revengers was on there.
Yeah, Tokyo Revenge.
My
Yeah,
Hero, of course. You had One
of
Punch
course.
Man. What is I guess besides Naruto, because that is I'd expect that to be number one. What are the top five for you?
Oh, oh, good God.
I
How
know.
long have we got? It's it's a heavy discussion. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't want to be like the typical like shonen anime because I think everybody picks them. You can go back and forth with them, but I'd say I love My Hero. I do. Despite my friend telling me that the manga did not end very well, so I'm not looking forward to the ending. But I'd say My Hero, just because I don't know. I like the characters. I like things with superpowers. I like Marvel. I like DC. I like things like that. So just this like ordinary kid, getting this extraordinary power and the way he goes on about it, I really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball. I say Dragon Ball's up there. I like Dragon Ball Super. I read the Dragon Ball Super manga, and I also did reviews for manga chapters for Dragon Ball for a while there. I think they're like further down on my channel. Oh, it's difficult. I'm just trying to list off all of them in my head, but for non-obvious reasons, because you would probably think like, oh yeah, we all know why this is in top 5, but High School DxD is in my top 5, and I started watching it because I found it when I was about 13.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, anime boobs, great, But you go for the boobs and you stay for the plot. Exactly.
Real. Yeah.
And I actually really enjoyed the plot of it, and I like Issei as a character, and I like Rias and Akuno and everyone. So I ended up just staying, and they have like a huge mythology of like Sun Wukong and all that different aspects of characters being thrown in there.
Yeah,
which I really like.
Despite the stigma of it's just titties, I think DxD has a very well crafted universe. I think it's really cool.
It definitely does. Yeah. Was that 4? So that's Naruto, My Hero, DxD.
You had Dragon Ball.
No Game, No Life.
Ooh, yeah.
I really enjoy No Game, No Life.
Yeah.
It's too bad it never got another season, and I never read the manga for it, but yeah, the first season that I watched, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Really well done animation.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that No Game was one of those where I watched the anime first, and then I read the manga, and I was like, dude, they need to make another season, because this shit is so dope.
Yeah, I really want, like, I don't think they ever will at this point. It came out so long ago. It's disappointing, but I'm not opposed to reading manga. Like I said, I read the Dragon Ball manga. I've read, and I have all of the Naruto manga, so I've read that numerous times.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm a giant nerd.
Hey, I mean, nerds are awesome. People don't know what they're missing.
Nerds are awesome. Exactly. I think I have one more.
Okay.
Something popped into my head. I don't remember what it was. So it would have been something cool. I can guarantee it would have been something cool, because we only watch the cool stuff. That's how I feel. Actually, the first 2 seasons of 7 Deadly Sins I loved, and I've watched so much.
Yes.
And I read the manga for that, so it's fine. I did finish it, but yeah, obviously it dropped off once 7 Deadly Frames became a thing.
I was going to say, I'm very happy that you specifically specifically seasons 1 through 3. Nothing else.
Yeah. No.
We don't touch the other material there.
Yeah, it dropped off so bad, and they did such a disservice to Escanor versus Meliodas that there is a fan animation on YouTube that does a better job at it than what they did. And I never blamed the animators for it, because I know it's time constraints and money, and it's not their fault, but yeah, they did that really bad.
Yeah, it's all the studio's fault. They can.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Have you? Because I was looking through, and it doesn't seem like you've done a ton of actual anime reactions on the channel, at least in a long while.
Yeah, that's very true. I don't know. I sort of veered off into watching just like animation stuff, like say like Ruby and Vox Machina, and I did try to dabble in Arcane, but Netflix will not allow that at all.
Yeah,
so
we'll be talking about that one.
But yeah, I think I started, I can't remember, there was an anime that I started watching, but I never really did care about the views or anything, but those particular videos just did like really bad. And I was just, I don't know, it kind of puts you off a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was at that point where I didn't really get many views anyways, but I just kind of was like, I'll stick to the things that are sort of progressing my channel into sort of making an audience.
Yeah. And that I guess does really lean into the one of the bigger blow-ups on the channel with the start of Hell of a Boss.
Yeah.
And
God damn.
upwards of, I want to say it was either yesterday or the day before that you reacted to the new episode. I have not seen episodes 9 or 10 or the Hell of a Shorts 2 through 4. So please don't spoil me. But I can't.
No, don't worry.
I kind of want to talk about your experience with the show, because you kind of went into all of that blind. Because at least for me, I had years of being a fan of Viv. Like, I have been a fan of hers since, I want to say, around 2015. So I knew about a lot of the stuff that kind of went on and when the Has Been pilot dropped, but you got dropped right in the beginning of Hell of a Boss with no context.
Yeah, I had a very, very slight bit of context, which was literally, it had popped up on YouTube years prior, the actual pilot, and I think I got through like a few minutes of it, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just at the time it just didn't resonate with me, or I wasn't really paying too much attention, so I couldn't see it for what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got through like 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm not really all that bothered. And it was my friend William he was the one that had just basically said, look, dude, you should sit down and watch it, like, it's really fun. And a few other people in comments of just random other videos have been like, oh, you should try react to Hell of a Boss. And I was like, you know what? I was like, William's asking me to watch it, other people asking me to watch it. I'm more than happy to give anything a try, and I might as well make a reaction out of it while I'm at it. And yeah, those videos are some of the best videos on my channel right now. And that the Has Been Hotel one is the best video currently on my channel, which is the amount of views of that one. I don't know where that came from. That was absolutely insane. But yeah, so I got dropped straight into the middle of it, and I had, like you said, I had no context as to what the show was about, and I had no idea it was going to be as brutal and as 18 rated as what it was.
Yeah.
With all of the sex, blood, and gore. It definitely came as a shock, but I'm so glad I started that show, man. Like, even if I watched it by myself, it was so fun.
Yeah. And it's interesting, really, I think, to see what Helva has become since that pilot, because originally it was just, the immediate murder professionals and their quest to just cause as much havoc as possible, but now it's really evolved into something a lot more, I want to say mature, because a lot of it was just very crass and very, it even though it has a lot of the elements of, mature animated stuff, it's very juvenile in that aspect. But as it's gone on, it's definitely turned into something a lot more, with the relationship between Blitz and Stolas being kind of the forefront of everything.
Yeah. Oh, my boy, Stolas. I don't know what it is with that character, man, but just he gets to me so bad.
Yeah.
I just want him to be happy. Like, why can't they just be together? It hurts. But yeah, going from, like you say, just sort of this carnage of just destruction and blood and gore to a well-crafted story and a semi-love story between mainly Stolas and Blitz. It's definitely come a long way from what it was, and I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what happens. Like, say, I won't spoil the past couple of episodes that's happened. Not a lot's been Stolas related.
Okay.
But you see him every now and again, and I'm hoping with what's happened with Blitz, it's sort of going in a good direction of him seeing sort of like how toxic he is to Stolas, but also to himself.
Yeah.
In that the fact that he's stopping himself from having these relationships because of just the way he is.
Yeah. And I mean, like, At first, when season 1 ended, it was the mix of the two aspects of the show. Like, it was very half and half. But as season 2 has gone along, I've been reacting to it as well. Shameless plug, hell of a reactions. But season 2 has really shifted towards the more, it's definitely the Stolas and Blitz story being more at the forefront. Mm-hmm. I was actually going to ask you how you feel the show has handled that shift. Because at first, me going into season 2, I thought it was really jarring. I was like, this is not the same fun show that this was before. This is sad. This is really, really sad. Everybody has daddy issues, and I don't like it.
I had the same sort of feelings as you when I first went into it, because even though there was a story in season 1, like you said, so all of the episodes were sort of like separated and different, but there's definitely more of a connected story for season 2. And like you say, there's a lot of daddy issues. There's a lot of this kind of stuff has happened in my past. It's now affecting who I am now. It's affecting my relationships now. Like, how I'm assuming the show is hopefully going to go forward, trying to rectify those past traumas and sort of trying to move forward from them. But yeah, I like the way the direction that the show's gone. It's still got that quirkiness. It's still got that over the top, Blitz swearing and Millie and Moxie having all their stuff, and all of the characters are still the same, and they're still full of character. But it's definitely gone more of a relationship soppy sort of. We all have issues. Let's try and sort them out. Like I say, without giving spoilers, because the latest episode's kind of like a million Blitz episode.
Yes,
they sort
I have heard
go
about
on
that.
An adventure together. Yeah, so you get to see a bit of backstory on them too. And Millie definitely wasn't who she is now. She's definitely changed for the better.
Yeah. The one thing that I've heard about the last 2 episodes, because as I said, I haven't seen Apology Tour or Ghost Fuckers. I've heard that the one thing the fandom has used, the one word, is just rough. Those 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, definitely rough. Especially Apology Tour. That's, yeah, my god. I'm not even going to say anything. I thought you had seen it because I noticed your tag was in my In Love with Veronica era.
Yeah.
So I thought you had seen the episode because Veronica's in that. And you... I like her a lot more now that I know it's... Because in the beginning, she's sort of seen as she's the bad guy. Because, Blitz is the main character. You want to love Blitz despite his faults and his clear problems that he has.
I do know that in Apology Tour, things really get... the water is a lot more muddled. It's a lot more of, it was kind of both of their fault. I do know that, but I don't know the specifics of it. And the reason why is just because Veronica is bae. I mean, like, there's...
She is. She is bae.
And I especially, because I haven't seen the episode, but I have seen Veronica's design in episode 9, and it is peak. Legitimately one of my favorite designs Viv has come up with as an artist.
Yeah, I think because obviously they're all kind of having this party, and she's sort of the progenitor of it. She makes the party, and she's I'm fairly certain she wears like basically a bra and some like white jeans or something. She's got a short hair. From what I'm trying to remember, I think it's been like a month or 2 since I watched that episode, but yeah, she's
it's the short hair that gets me with that design.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she's a succubus. She means business.
But yeah, I mean, going along with the Helliververse stuff, we can kind of talk about it. Has Been Hotel. When that season came out, you were kind of right there. I think you were one of the first people in my feed to react to that first episode. And those videos for you skyrocketed.
Yeah, I mean, I wish my channel kept that trajectory of that many views, but I know with reactions, it's a lot more about what you're watching rather than, you know, the person that's watching them. And I knew that going into it, but yeah, Hazbin Hotel, man, I knew exactly when it was coming out, so I made sure the day that they were getting released that I wasn't doing anything, so I could make a video as soon as I could. And I don't know if it was just the algorithm, I don't know if my videos just so happened to pop up in front of other people's, but yeah, I went to sleep. I remember going to sleep and I woke up, and I always just check my YouTube studio just to see if I've got any comments
I'm
that I need to
guilty
react
on that
or
one
anything.
too.
Yeah. So I woke up expecting, you know, I already knew the Hell of a Boss ones did well, and my pilot for Hazbin Hotel did well, so I knew I would get more views than I'm used to getting, but it was in the I think I can't remember what the first episode got, but it's a lot compared to what my usual channel is. And then episode 5 came out.
Yes, that's...
And I don't know who was smoking what in that day, but Jesus Christ, I think it's on 200 and plus thousand views.
Yeah, it's the...
Which
I believe
is
it's still the most
mind-boggling.
popular video on your channel.
Oh, by far, yeah. I think it goes that, and then I think it's the finale, which is at about 80,000 last time I checked, which it's been a while, so it might be a bit more now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what was about episode 5, but yeah, that thing just shot off, and I kept checking, and I didn't even have to go to sleep. I posted the video, I went through my sitting room, I was just, you know, watching the telly, and I think an hour or two had went by, and I had just went on casually out of habit, and the video was already on like 9,000 views, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
And then when I woke up, yeah, it was 50, 60 plus thousand, and yeah, it just kept going up and up and up from there.
Yeah. Because I know that you got more into Hazbin Hotel, I want to say, like, towards the end of your reactions to Season 1 of Hell of a Boss, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of got into that late, but I'm really happy about the trajectory of those videos on your channel, because...
Well, thank you.
And as a daily watcher, little bit of a
flex, yeah, my man. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in multiple of the streams, but those videos, I love just going back every now and again, and another, you know, self promo, I guess. I did reactions to them as well, and it was very it was very interesting to see how that show went, because personally, Season 1 was not at all what I expected a lot of the time.
Oh, same. Yeah, same.
From the pilot, it seemed a lot like it just didn't... I don't know how to word it, but it was just very different from what I was expecting.
I know what you mean. Like, I mean, the whole pilots, which... Was it the pilot for Hell of a Boss or Hazbin Hotel that's been made non-canon?
It's the Hell of a Boss pilot that was decanonized.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for the Hazbin Hotel one, the whole thing was just... She wanted to open a hotel, and that's pretty much all you really got from the pilot.
Yeah.
You met the characters that you needed to meet, and it was, yeah, she's got this hotel. You know, of course, Lucifer's going to be involved and everything, which was super cool, and I really liked that. But, yeah, it really wasn't what I was expecting. And I think I said in the Hazbin Hotel pilot episode that I made that it seemed a lot more story-based. Because, of course, the Hell of a Boss had only Season 1 had been out at the time. And that one was, like we said, was a lot more wacky and zany. And just every episode, even though they could sometimes make references back to each episode, just seemed like it was a standalone thing. Whereas Hazbin Hotel just seemed a lot more story-based to me. Now, it obviously, once Season 1 came out, definitely kept that trajectory of it's an actual story. And then, of course, Season 2 of Hell of a Boss came out, and that's definitely more story-based and character-based, so kind of went on the same route.
So, in terms of Hazbin, I have two big questions about your opinions of the show. Number one, favorite character?
Oh, Alistair.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, can I cheat? Can I have two?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, so it's Alistair, just purely because like he's such a mysterious character, and he's like as like creepy, and he's up to stuff as he is. Like, I don't know, there's just something about him, man. I just love him. Every time he's on screen, he's got such charisma. And Nifty, I absolutely, I love Nifty so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, she makes me laugh so hard.
I think, like, in terms of my enjoyment of them personally, I think that my choice of favorite character of season 1 is either Nifty, because hell yeah, we love her.
Hell yeah, yeah. She's so funny.
Either her or just the development that Lucifer had. His story is very unique, I think.
Speaking of like stories that you weren't expecting to be the way they were, Lucifer was definitely a character that took me by surprise. Just the thoughts in my head of like Lucifer, and I was trying to figure it out before the show came out. Is he going to be that sort of character, that sort of Lucifer from the DC show, where he's like sort of calm and charismatic, but he will break your face if he needs to? Or is he going to be just this complete maniac? Like, I had no idea, but he kind of none of them.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely, like, obviously at the end when he showed up to protect Charlie, he definitely showed that he will kick shit out of you if you cross him. But
yeah, he's a very different character than a lot of us were expecting to be. We did not expect, Lucifer, the Archangel, Lord of Hell, to be just a very lame dad.
Yeah, just a lame dad with depression.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a very interesting guy. He still is. He's one of my favorites.
Also, that line, probably my favorite in the whole show. Take that, depression.
Yeah. My daughter wants to see me. Take that, depression.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
And the second question I have, based for your opinions of the show, favorite musical number?
Hell's Greatest Dad.
Wow. There was barely a pause there. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's always been my favorite one. I don't know why. I listen to them all the time. I still listen to them now. If I'm on my way to work, I'll pop them in my headphones and I just listen to the entire season 1 soundtrack, just because why not? It puts me in a good mood. But yeah, Hell's Greatest Dad's always been my favorite song. It was the first song that I learned all of the words to, and it still remains my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think for me it's either Hell's Greatest Dad or Loser Baby, because Keith David's voice is just...
Yeah, I did not expect him to have a set of pipes on him. I've never heard him sing before, but he's quite a good singer.
Yeah, Keith David is... I think in terms of just the acting, either Keith David or Erica Henningsen as Charlie are my favorite actors in the show, because they just do such a good job.
Yeah, they really do. And obviously I went to uni to do acting and screen performance. I've done a lot of voice work, and I used to shit on it as well. I used to be like, because a friend of ours wanted to go into voice acting, and we used to joke about it and be like, oh, we'll do the real acting, like on screen and in theater, and you can do the voice acting. But it's a lot harder than what you think it might be.
Yeah.
You've probably seen it if you watch the behind the scenes, but you got to put a lot of movement into your voice, which sounds ridiculous, but if you just stand there stagnant and you try to deliver a scene, an emotional scene, obviously it just doesn't come out right. So you really do have to put a lot of work and a lot of your body into making your voice sound believable.
Yeah. As someone who for context to this, I do audio-based storytelling on the channel. It's a little series called The Fall and the Negativity Saga. It's really weird. I don't recommend it. It's way too it's the trauma of Hell of a Boss, but you can hear everything instead of seeing everything, so it makes it just that much harder to bear. But I voice act literally all of the characters. So I got the character that's mostly like me. I got Richard Price. He kind of has all of this down here kind of shit. I have Evan Michaels. He is very, very... his voice sounds like he smokes 1,000 packs a day, and like there's a lot of stuff that goes into voice acting that I really want to get into the actual voice acting scene. I think that would be really cool. I have ideas for a show, Glitch Productions. Please answer my email that I sent to you a few months back. Anyway, I hope no one actually listens to that because it's ballsy. But
Well, I'm gonna go listen to it after this. So.
God damn it. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Don't.
Just don't.
Especially some of the beginning stuff. It's rough. It's really rough. But there's it's definitely gotten a lot better, I think. But
I say everybody's got to start somewhere.
yeah,
That's the way I say it.
yeah. But voice acting is one of those things where it's like, if I could have a career in it, I'd do it in a heartbeat because it's so fun, and especially with my storytelling, it lets me be a little bit more psychotic than I can be in real life.
I mean, that's acting. That's the great thing. Like, if you ever have any like thoughts or feelings of like, your character's a bit of a psycho, your character's a bit of a recluse, or whatever they are, you can use aspects of your life to bring those characters to life.
Yeah.
In a healthy way, where you're not getting a bunch of pent up rage out of absolutely nowhere, and you go out and kill someone,
Yeah.
or do something crazy. You can express all of that,
Yeah.
quote unquote, unhealthiness in the healthiest way you
Yeah,
can.
for example, one of the characters, Devlin Dark, is his name, Dahrk, so it's not too on the nose. He is, at least when he was conceived, he was the living embodiment of everything I could hate in a person.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a creep, he is a serial killer, he is just a horrible, actually filthy human being. But the fun thing about writing is that your opinions can change. And as I was writing for him, it turned out that he got a lot more sympathetic. And I was like, maybe he isn't everything that I hate. Maybe he can have a tragic backstory to at least explain why he does the shit he does. But in the end, he's...
I get those characters all the time.
Yeah. We will talk about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, Has Been and Helva happened. And I believe it was just after Helva kind of got going. People decided to clue you into another independent animated show, which is probably my second favorite show legitimately of all time. A little production from the company Rooster Teeth known as Ruby.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
You clue me in. What's the story about?
Yeah, you
But yeah, again, Ruby's another thing, kind of like Hell of a Boss, where I had seen it so much, and it was on like every anime website, and it was constantly popping up, but I had no idea what it was about, and I admittedly judged a book by its cover, and the second I saw the animation on like the first season and everything, I just kind of like shelved it immediately, and I never really got back to it until I constantly got comments of people being like, you should really react to Ruby, it's really good. So I was like, that's fine, I'll give it a shot. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And yeah, I'm in the same with you. Like, I absolutely love Ruby. I love everything about it. I love the characters. Crow, before you even ask, is my favorite.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Crow. He's got such a tragic story of his semblance being what it is, and he can't really have people around him or anything. So
yeah.
Ruby's another one of those shows that really took off.
Yeah. I think the reason why I love Ruby, like, besides the surprisingly hated on story, like,
yeah, I see that a lot.
Besides that, I think I love Ruby because it's just the rule of cool in a world. It's just
Yeah,
whatever's the
literally.
coolest thing you can think of, it's in there. We got sniper
Yeah.
scythes. Everything is a gun. You know that the tagline. It's also a gun. We love it.
Yeah, literally. I remember when I first started watching it, and I was like, obviously, Ruby just pulls out a gun out of a scythe, and I was like, well, what's this all about? And just so many comments just being like, yeah, dude, like, just get used to that because everything is a gun. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll keep that in mind.
And then
So I'm not surprised next time.
and it's interesting because we have so many weapons that are also a gun. And then you have the two unique weapons, I think, which are Winter's swords, where there's another sword inside of the sword. So it's a sword, but it's also a sword. And then you have Ironwood's weapon, which is a gun, but it's also a gun. So
It's so stupid. You're bringing up traumatic memories here of Ironwood. I loved Ironwood so much.
I
God damn it.
Ironwood is one of those characters where I think a lot of people really got him misconstrued, because even from his first appearance, you were kind of like, this guy feels like he's about to snap at anybody. And I love the fact that people were like, they ruined Ironwood. This is the arc that he was going on from the beginning, my guy.
Yeah, you could tell. Obviously, he's that typical general soldier, and you know for a while he's got his screws too tight. In the second anything will go wrong or not his way, because he had that semblance of what I think was called metal.
Yes.
Yeah, where he's so focused on one thing that like nothing can deter him from the goal that he set himself. And yeah, you could definitely tell he was going to end up cracking up at some point. But you never knew like what was going to happen. Like, is he going to turn on them? Is he going to become the bad guy? Or is everything going to work out? But
yeah,
they did what they needed to do with the character, and who am I to judge?
Yeah. I see, Ruby is a complicated series for me because I have a love-hate relationship with it, I guess, because I love the show. As I said, it's probably my second favorite show of all time, right next to Red vs. Blue. Rooster Teeth has created some of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get into that one. But Ruby is... I don't think we can escape it. It is flawed.
Yeah. I made the mistake, and I don't know why, because we're talking about Reddit here, but I always made the mistake of going on the Ruby subreddit.
Yeah.
And going down and like anything. I mean, you can go on the subreddit for any show or anything, and you will always find people that will bitch and moan about, the most trivial things that really don't matter. Yeah, Ruby had a lot of that when I would go on the subreddit. If a new episode came out, there was a dedicated fan base of people that just wanted to hate for the sake of hating it.
Yeah. And it's like...
But
Oh, go ahead.
No, go on. No, I was just saying, I'm one of those people, I watch a show for what it is. I'll watch the episode for what it is. I'll either black and white, I like it or I don't. I'm not going to sit and nitpick being like, well, this would never have happened because of this thing, and this character would never have done that. It's not my show, it's not my IP, and they know the characters better than we do.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could make an argument otherwise, but most of the time. But yeah, I just kind of watch it for what it is. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't.
And I did want to ask, because I don't think you ever did talk about it, what is your favorite volume of the show? Because the show has a lot of highs and lows. And
It does.
I can certainly tell you my least favorite volume, but I'm still actually stuck on which one is my favorite.
I think I haven't rewatched Ruby since actually doing the reactions to it. I've been meaning to get around of it on my on Crunchyroll. This might be the motivation I need. So after here and after I go watch your video, I'll might go and watch that. But I think season 3 as tragic as it was, is probably definitely the one that stuck with me the most.
Yeah. Um,
But yeah, that's it still haunts my dreams, that one.
yeah. Volume 3 was such a crazy thing because again, I've been with a lot of these shows since they were airing. Like, I was right in the middle of Volume 3 with everybody when that season was going out. So it was just trauma upon trauma with that one. And
It really was.
and it was just very interesting to see everybody in the fandom kind of collectively coming together with that volume, because it's still the most universally loved volume, I think. Like, people praise that one as like the best in RWBY history.
Yeah, they really do. Like I said, I really do need to go back and rewatch it. And you know, being like a reactor yourself, doing reactions to things and then watching them by yourself are like, it's like two different things, because you're constantly doing a reaction. You want to look for things to talk about.
Yeah.
And you constantly like you try to pick and analyze everything. Whereas if you're just sitting back watching a TV show, you can just kind of relax and watch it. Like, every time I do a Hell of a Boss reaction, I then watch it again the same day because I watch it with my girlfriend.
Okay.
So I get the pleasure of doing that, but I've never been able to do that with RWBY. But yeah, I think unanimously season 3 is one of those ones where nobody really hates it. I mean, I hate it because of what they did to me, but I kind of had that sort of reprieve of being like, I've still got another 4 volumes till I catch up,
And then
and they're all right there for me to watch. And then it was just heartbreak after heartbreak after that.
I was even gonna comment on, like, after Volume 3, I got 4 volumes to catch up on, and then immediately Volume 8 came out.
Yeah.
And then immediately, because I mean, kind of side tangent, after I think it was Volume 7, you started getting into a bunch of other shit. And then it was as soon as you finished Volume 8, Volume 9 came out. And it was like that. I find your reactions really interesting, because it always seems like the perfect storm of when you finish one thing, there's always something else for you to immediately start on.
Yeah, I that is definitely not me doing that. It's pure happen chance. Like, I'm not that coordinated in my life to do that. It just so happened to be like you say, I finished season 8, and then I think I caught up when season 9 was airing.
Yeah.
So I think I would wait every 2 weeks and then do like a double episode. I think that's how I worked it.
Yeah.
So it worked well, and then it just went from there.
Yeah. And I guess now we just gotta wait from Viz Media, because they recently bought RWBY. I mean, not recently now, it's been a couple of months. But it doesn't feel like that long ago.
To be fair, it really doesn't. I remember reacting to the last episode of season 9 when they finally got out of the Neverland and returned home. So I was so glad when I heard that they had bought RWBY, because I was so worried that we were just going to get so this is how we wanted it to end. Of course, we can't show you that, so you're just going to have to use your imagination.
Yeah.
Or even worse, they don't tell us, and then we just have to guess, like, yeah, RWBY made it back, and, she kicked Sable's ass, and that was that.
Yeah, I mean, RWBY is one of those things where I think the core of it will always be the fans. So I think that even if Viz hadn't bought them out, I do think that the fans would have found some way to bring RWBY closure as a show. I think they could have easily done that.
Definitely. I think it kind of would have been like a Vox Machina sort of startup. They wanted like a little bit of money, then they ended up getting an outrageous amount for a startup. I think it could have probably have went like that, where they just sort of went, look, like, if you're so interested, we could try and do like a sort of fundraiser and do it ourselves and hope for the best. And I definitely think the community would have came together to make that happen.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people. I mean, I'm one of the I'm one of the rare Volume 9 enthusiasts. Um, I think that just and that's what I mean by I'm conflicted upon the best volume of the show for me, because for me it's either volume 3 or volume 9, because both of those, I think you'll get what I mean when I say this, are the most Ruby volumes that Ruby has ever had.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think I don't know why Volume 9 definitely feels overhated. A lot of people hated the way it went, and even like my favorite YouTuber Charlie, like Penguin Z0, he didn't like Volume 9 either. I think he had spoke about it, and I think it's just because it sort of felt a bit like a filler volume with them sort of not taking place in the real world.
Yeah.
And it was a very much like finding themselves again after, you know, all the traumatic events and everything that just happened. So I think it was just, but I think it needed to happen as well, because I think if you go from what happened in Volume 8 immediately jumping into the end fight, or what's leading up to the end fight, I don't think Ruby or anyone would have really had the stomach to really do it.
Yeah.
Because I think they would have just been way too traumatized.
Yeah, because like when you look at it from the season's perspective, everything takes place over like a year and a half. when you really think about it, and the part about the fandom that really gets to me is when they criticize the Team Ruby, like as a group for their actions and their issues with, you know, trusting others around them and in the world. When have you seen what happens when they do trust people?
Exactly. There's been so much stuff that happens. I think sometimes you do just have to go back and rewatch other volumes and think, like, they've been through this, and this. They've had everything with Ozpin that happened. They've had everything with Iron Daddy.
Yeah.
All of that good stuff. And, you know, it does affect you. And I think people forget that they are still just kids.
Yeah.
And I think they were, they're 16, I think, apart from Yang. I think Yang's a bit older.
I believe everybody is 18 now, except for Ruby, who's like 16. I want to, but it's still it's like really young, and to be forced into that kind of a world, I wouldn't do well with the decision making either, personally.
Oh, I'm so indecisive. I can't buy my own clothes because I can't decide what I want. I go shopping and I'll come back with nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it was like a life or death situation or something where I know it's gonna massively affect something else, like, no, I would crumble immediately.
Yeah. And, you know, fate of the world and all that. So
yeah, exactly, especially with the fate of the world.
So moving on from the Hell of a Verse and Ruby, that led you down, I want to say, the first thing that came up before, you know, after Ruby and Helva, came in this nice little Amazon series that you've, I mean, I've actually just recently started reacting to it. This little show that had a small Kickstarter goal, Legend of Vox Machina, which is oh, it's so good so far. I've only seen the first 3 episodes, literally. So I think you are way further ahead than I am.
Oh, you mean season 1? You're still on season 1? Oh, okay, yeah. I was gonna say I think you might be ahead of me, but I'm on season 2 by now. Yeah, I absolutely love the Legend of Vox Machina, which, crawling back to what you just said, it came around at like the perfect time because I had just sort of started getting into D&D. My friend wanted to try it, and I think D&D is an actor. It's literally just improvisation. It's creating a character and improving things. Like it's the perfect game for a wannabe actor. So I would say, yeah, well, we'll definitely try it. And I mean, this was like, we're talking about a good year ago, and we still haven't managed to get onto it. But I think that's just life, you know, just getting in the way, and jobs and everything.
Hey, if you want an extra player.
Well, I mean, I'm more than happy.
Hell yeah.
If you wanna create a character, well, I'm a wizard, so I'm scared of everything. Literally, if I trip over a rock, I might die.
Oh yeah.
and I'm not versed at the game at all. So I feel like I will panic immediately, and my character will die within the first episode of the campaign.
But yeah, Legend of Vox Machina is so well done. Just
It really is.
But for those of you who want to get into Vox Machina, do be aware it is very mature.
Oh, that yeah. If you watch, I don't know if you remember, but when I did my first reaction to it on the first episode, I had no idea it was as graphic as what it is.
Yeah.
And I had never watched Critical Role at this point. I had never sat and watched an episode of their campaign. So again, I was going in completely blind here, and to watch, these guys standing on a mountain, I'm like, oh, there's the main characters. They're about to kick some ass, and then immediately every single one of them die in the most gruesome way possible. And I was like, oh my god, that set the tone for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
And it's as dark as it sounds. I mean, I just said they die in the most gruesome way, but it made me laugh so hard because it just it goes from 0 to 100. It's like you think they're, these powerful beings, and then like a rock just falls on one guy, crushes him. Another one, I think, gets like burned by dragonfire or something. And it was such a good start.
Yeah, and the tavern scene that follows, you gotta have. I actually said this in my reaction to episode 1. You gotta have either the blood and gore, you either gotta have the man ass or the titties, and Vox Machina had all three. So
it did.
I mean, where can you go wrong?
I was so worried. I was like, I'm definitely gonna have to cover this part and make sure it can't be seen, because YouTube's already difficult enough to deal with copyright and everything. But if they say titties, that's a strike right there. That's against the guidelines. So I had to make sure to cover the titties.
I actually feel bad now because, spoiler alert, my reactions, I try my best to have them unedited, and I didn't have to blur anything.
Did you not?
No, I didn't.
Hey.
Like,
it happens. I don't know what it is with copyright. It's a weird thing. I can literally re-upload the same video and make the most minute difference to it that really doesn't affect the video at all, and it could go through and not get copyrighted at all.
Yeah.
Which it does make sense, but it's not exactly done by like humans. It's just done by the computer. Once you upload the video, it automatically checks the video for you.
Yeah.
So you can't really get around it, but I mean, I can literally upload the same video twice and have 2 different results.
And I mean, I guess with me, I'm a reactor who pauses a lot, so might not be for some of you listening to this, but I extended the 24 minutes, I believe, of episodes 1 and 2 to 49 and 55 minutes, respectively. So maybe that's why just I was pausing too much for the copyright to be like, where can we get this guy?
Yeah, it's I've never actually sat and I think it's like a 70-30. You have to like speak over 70% of it and only show 30% for copyright to not actually affect you at all, and for you to be well within your right to show the video.
Yeah.
But I'm like you, I do not like to edit my things out. And I've been commended on that quite a lot, of people being like, oh, thank you for actually showing the full video and not constantly cutting things out, because it gets really annoying.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to sit and watch a reactor, but I will watch reactions to, like, if it's a certain good episode that I know, if there's a certain part that I want to watch, I'll go and watch that. And there is nothing worse than if somebody's cut that part out because they're following the guidelines, and it's so annoying. And it puts you off really bad, I think.
Yeah. So, I suppose before we get into the other thing that I really wanted to talk with you about specifically, we have a few other things, and it's funny that we're talking about copyright, because after Vox Machina, during Vox Machina, you started a little show called Arcane. And we have a little tale of copyright to talk about there.
Yeah, we do. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, Arcane, that I think I only got through 3 episodes of it, and they were hell on earth to get out.
Yeah.
I ended up giving... I realized Amazon's not so bad. Amazon will pretty much let you get away with it, but Netflix will not. If you don't follow the guidelines to where they can't turn around and be like, well, you can't show this, because you're like, well, I'm well within my right to do this. I followed the exact guidelines for copyright, so, suck it. If you don't follow that, they will not let you put that out. Arcane, I think I watched one episode of One Piece,
Yeah.
and I think I just managed to get that out. And normally what I'll do, if a video does get copyrighted, if I can't just take the piece out, because sometimes it's like, a bit of music in the background, so I can just mute the music and it's not so bad. Or if I have to, if it's a small chunk, I can take that out if it doesn't affect the video at all.
Yeah.
But with that, it was literally the entire thing has been copyrighted, so I'd have to dispute it. Then I have to wait 48 hours. Then the dispute will come off if they haven't seen it yet. But then sometimes the video would be out for like a day or two, and then they'd see it copyrighted again.
Yeah.
And now I can't dispute it, so it just became way too much like hassle.
Yeah. There's I mean, I do plan to react to Arcane Season 2 when it comes out, because I've been waiting 3 fucking years. But there's another show that I'm currently reacting to called Blue Eye Samurai. I really recommend it to you to just watch on your own.
Yeah.
Because Netflix is being an absolute bitch when it comes to that. I want to say that I've had at least 7 versions of my reaction to episode 2 that have gotten just the ban with copyright.
Yeah, so you're going through it as well.
Yeah.
Huh?
And I really want to react to the series, and I mean, episode 1, that reaction went out very smoothly. YouTube had no problems with it, but episode 2 is brutal. Like, it's given me all the problems, and I'm like, no, come on.
Yeah,
you were nice.
That's what I find as well. Like, exactly. They let you. It's almost like they're teasing you. Like, oh, we let you put this one out, but you got to work your ass off if you want to get the rest of them out.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. It's the same show. Obviously, sometimes maybe, like I say, it's the music that gets you. Sometimes it's the background music. It'll be claimed by, whoever's composed it. But why specific parts? Why not just stop being an asshole and just let me put it out?
Yeah.
Like, if anything, I'm helping you. No one's gonna want to watch a reactor react to a show that they like. They would have watched the show first on Netflix. So it's not like you're taking anything away from Netflix at all.
Yeah.
And it's not our fault Netflix are, shit in debt because of the amount of shows that they make, and they don't make anything back because they don't put any effort into the shows that they make. Bearing like, a couple of goldies like Stranger Things and stuff like that. I
mean, don't get me wrong. The One Piece live action series was actually kind of good.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I ended up watching it on my own because I just gave up with trying to even get episode 2 out.
Yeah.
So I continued the rest of it. I think it was only 6 episodes.
Something like that.
So, yeah, they did really well with it, because a lot of people were worried because they do so many live action versions of anime and they fall so flat because you can't really you need a really fine line between anime and real life. If you try to go too anime with it, like if you've ever seen the Cowboy Bebop live action, I can't remember which character it is, but they are like the actor is great and really go for it, but it just doesn't fit in real life. Like, it just looks stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas in anime, of course, it just fits well. Like with Luffy stretching, he's really emotive and everything. Yeah. But he looks good.
Like, I was very pleasantly surprised, and I'm going to, again, barring Netflix's copyright stuff, I'm also going to be trying to watch the live-action Last Airbender with reactions. I still haven't seen it yet because I'm far behind on literally everything.
Oh, you're preaching to the choir there. I have so many shows. Again, going back to my friend William, he's constantly... Arcane Season 2 is coming out. I think it's Saturday it comes out. Yeah, he has
so fucking excited, dude.
Yeah, he keeps going on. He's like, I need someone to talk to about it. I'm like, you need to watch it. I'm like, right, I'll try, I'll catch up. because I really enjoyed season one.
Yeah. Did you finish it?
The episodes that I watched. No, I was on the last arc, so I think it's the last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna go back and just rewatch all of it because I so enjoyed it. The bit that always stuck with me is I don't know why I found it so cool. I made a little short out of it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Was where the guy comes down to try and like chop a Jinx and she doesn't even look and just sort of like dodges it.
Yeah, she just tilts her neck back, and it's
she
so bad.
Yeah, exactly. She doesn't even move her body. But
I
again going into that, I had no idea about that show. I didn't know Jinx was like classed as a bad guy or whatever.
Yeah,
because I don't play League of Legends. I just can't. It's a game I can't get into. But
and
yeah, the shows.
I think
so good.
I think that's the most impressive thing about it. It's that it's based off of League of fucking Legends, and it's so damn good. And it's like it's like Riot was trying to say, we know our community's bad, but we make good stuff. Come on, lend us a bone.
I mean, they nailed it because, like I said, that show is absolutely golden. They did a really well job, and I love the animation style of it as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really seen animation like that.
Yeah. Again, Blue Eye Samurai. I believe it's not Fortiche, but it's another French animation company that does Blue Eye Samurai, and the two are very similar. So that's the reason I think you'd like it.
I'll definitely give it a watch. I think the name does ring a bell. Someone's definitely mentioned it to me before.
Yeah. I will warn you, it is very similar to Vox Machina in how mature it is. You will see all of the blood, all of the guts, all of the titties, and there is even full frontal men at times, so be warned.
Hey, hell yeah.
I mean, hey, representation.
That's... Hell yeah, I'm all for it. Like, if you want to throw a dick on the screen, you throw a dick on the screen.
And there is, in the first episode, there is a dick thrown on the screen, so...
Hell yeah.
But yeah, Blue Eye Samurai, great show. Horrible for copyright, but great show.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be one of those shows that I just watch by myself.
Yeah. Now, I did want to talk about all of that stuff first before going into this one because, as I said, it's my favorite show of all time, and you reacted to it, Red versus Blue.
It got so much better. Like I said, season 1 through 5 seemed like they were a bit of a slog for me, but only because there wasn't much of a story there. Yeah. And I don't know the lore with Halo. So it just kind of like all the little like bits that like people were like telling me about, which thank God I have you guys like in my comments.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'd be so lost with that show, and like you're like, oh, you missed this because this connects to this, and I'm like, all right, well, thank you for letting me know because that went over my head. But like despite there not being like much of a story in the first few seasons, my God, did I find that show funny.
Yeah.
And still to this day, the fucking pacifier joke is one of my favorite jokes ever. It got me so bad.
That show reeks of 2000s meme humor, but I love it.
It does. It's so good. Like I said, once you got a season 6 onwards, I absolutely loved
seasons.
I enjoyed that so much.
Seasons 8 through 13 of Red vs. Blue are my favorite pieces of media ever. Music, TV shows, movies, everything. Nothing comes close. Because Monty Ohm is so damn good.
He was. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
God bless him. But the choreography and everything, he does such an amazing job.
Yeah. And I was talking to one of my friends about this a while ago because, spoiler alert, I'm working on a little thing called, if you've seen Cinema Wins or Cinema Sins.
Yeah, I've seen both of them. Yeah.
I'm doing essentially a series that's everything great about Ruby. I'm doing that with one of my friends, and we were going back and forth, and at one point, I kind of thought to myself, could you imagine if Monty worked on Arcane? If Monty was alive to work on that show, that would be nuts.
Yeah, I mean, Arcane was, like you just said, it was outstanding to begin with, but if it had that level of choreography, it would just take it to a whole new level.
Yeah. Like I talked about that with my friend, and he was like, "Fuck off! You're making me sad because that's not our timeline."
Yeah, that's the thing. There'll be a timeline. Doctor Strange will be looking at one right now, thinking, you know what it is, that this one's better.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to this one.
But yeah, Red versus Blue. I mean, especially seasons 8 through 10, it gets emotional and dark. Especially the ending of season 10.
Yeah. So yeah, it goes from just. It's the end of season 10. Is that with the director?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes from just, like you said, just 2000s like meme humor, just, guys dicking around to, we could actually make a story out of this, and then they make a good story, with the freelancers and everything that get included, and like you say, with the director and everything that happens at the end with him. Yeah, the story, I think it wraps up really well, and I'm still trying to finish it now, but I can't find a place to watch it.
Yeah. I will send
really
I will send you a link. There's a thing that a lot of myself and in the Rooster Teeth community use, because I actually know some of those folks. So there's a website that we all use to just rewatch stuff like Ruby and Red versus Blue and all that. So I'll send that to you when I get the chance.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I can start my reaction. So guys, I took a short hiatus from it, and then got back to it, watched one episode, and people were like, "Oh yeah, like you're finally back! Like I've been waiting for these videos." And then just immediately the archived website that I watched it from got shut down, and I couldn't find another website for the life of me. I was like, "All right, cool. This is rough."
Yeah.
I do apologize, but I'm going back on hiatus for a short while.
And even though I love seasons 8 through 10. The last episode of season 13, Church's final speech.
Oh, God, I know. A lot of people told me, obviously, a lot of people have a difference of opinion as to, like, when the show actually ends. Like, oh, it ends at the end of this season, it ends at the end of that season, and, don't listen to people A and don't listen to people B.
Yeah.
But, yeah, even if it did end there, 'cause I know the final season is, like a movie, isn't it? I don't think it's like shot in episodes.
Yeah, Red versus Blue Restoration. I actually reacted to that one, so I cried like a bitch.
I need to watch it. I need to get there. Like I can't even remember what season I'm on off the top of my head.
Oh,
I'm so lost with
it.
I
think you were on season 14 or 15.
I think so. Yeah, it was the the one with all the episodes are different, where they were trying to figure out like who was going to take the show on.
Yeah, that was season 14.
Continue the story. Yeah. So I think I'm literally on the last episode of that, where I think it's the Red versus Blue versus Rooster Teeth. I think they go in like the real world or something.
Yeah, I remember that episode, man.
Yeah, so I've literally only got that one to watch, and then that's it. I'm past season 14. I can continue.
Yeah. Not gonna spoil you on anything, but seasons 15 through 17 is a story-based thing. Like, it has an arc there. Mm-hmm. And then season 18, you can just skip that. We don't care.
Is that 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories. People being like, the fights were good, but that's it. That's the only thing good. Like, they completely ruined the characters and the story. And
anybody who says that season 18-0 has no merits is wrong, because the team that worked with Death Battle in, I believe, 2020 were the same people who worked on Red vs. Blue 0, and their choreography was next level. Best fight scenes on YouTube in terms of animated stuff. Like, so damn good. But the story is ass, bro. It sucks. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, there's nothing worse. I hate. Again, just harking back to Naruto. This is why I love Naruto. The I don't know if you've seen Naruto, if you've watched it before.
I have.
Yeah. So the end fight with Naruto and Sasuke, I absolutely adore that fight. I thought it was done greatly. Like the lack of music, the everything building up to they are going to fight at some point. And like the taijutsu, the actual fighting and the choreography there, rather than just throwing giant Rasengans and Chidoris, which I know they do in the fight, but the fact that most of it was sort of hand to hand, I think played it so well. I hated the Kaguya bit, like everybody else. The main thing I hate about that is that they hyped Madara up to be this powerhouse of a character, and he's this, and this, and he finally comes back and he lived up to the hype of being an absolute powerhouse when he takes on the entire Shinobi Alliance, and then he gets fucking killed by an aloe vera tree. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's so, I know they say like, oh well, Black Zetsu doesn't have like a presence and he doesn't have chakra, so you know he couldn't sense him coming, but I was like, it's bullshit. It's so annoying. And I wouldn't even have minded Kaguya being like the end villain if they just did Madara the justice he deserved.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So there is nothing worse than leading up to a season or whatever and just being so thoroughly disappointed with the story and the way it goes.
Yeah. And I mean, with Red versus Blue, it's interesting that you mentioned the fact that a bunch of people debate over where it ends, because Bernie, the creator of the show, Bernie Burns, bless his heart, I hope he's doing well in Scotland, because he moved from fucking Texas to Scotland a few years back, and he came back for restoration and all that, but he purposefully put specific seasons where he's like, if audience want the show to end here, the show can end here, and you don't have to worry about it. And I believe the endpoints are season 5, like the end of season 5, season 6, 8, 10, 13, and then restoration are the points that you can end it on.
I mean, it's cool that he's done that. You can sort of just make your own ending if you... I suppose it's a safe bet. Like, if you're unhappy with the way it goes, you can just be like, you know what it is? In my mind, it ended so long ago, and the rest of it's just, you know, it doesn't even matter, the story.
Yeah. And, like, the big reason why restoration was so big in the community was because, again, Bernie left for Scotland, I think, in 2021 or 2022, and then he came back, flew all the way back to Texas, got a residency there again, just to write restoration for the final thing. And
that's a flex right there.
And what's really cool is that Red versus Blue was what started Rooster Teeth, and restoration was the thing they left on. And I just think, I thought that was really cool. How Bernie was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let these chuckle fucks end this company without putting one last thing in Red versus Blue's history. So.
Well, you know, if it's your baby, you're gonna have to come back and you're gonna have to show them how it's done.
Yeah. Bernie, if you're listening to this, could you be on a Winter Talks episode?
Hey, look, dude, you never know. You can blow the hell up. All it takes is one video. Eminem said it correctly. Nobody could know your name, and then tomorrow, just like that, everybody knows who you are. And sometimes all it takes is one video, one chance encounter. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
That's how life works. I mean, look at the tour girl. I mean, she's kind of like, you know, falling out with grace right now, but like, she made one stupid viral video, and then her entire life just got flipped upside down, like Will Smith said.
Yeah. So, from going off of Red versus Blue and Arcane and Vox Machina, the two shows that you are more recently, or the two projects, I guess for one of them, that you are more recently reacting to, unless I'm wrong about the second one, is Death Battle. You've been consistent with those. And the other one, which you haven't been consistent with because of copyright, Gravity Falls.
I know, I already knew that one was coming. I have released episode 2 for Gravity Falls, but that one got blocked. I then disputed it. I was like, hopefully in like 48 hours it'll come out, and that's normally what happens, and that's what happened with the last one.
Yeah.
But unfortunately it didn't. They denied it. So, because it's Disney, like it's owned by Disney, of course. So, they're I don't think they're letting that one go. But so many people have done reactions to it, and I have seen certain YouTubers that react to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like, we'll just do certain things as sort of like grey, like put like a little grey area on it. So you can get it out, and Lord help me, I will, because quite a lot of people have asked over the, however, I think it's like a year or two, 3 maybe. I don't even know how long I've been making YouTube videos for, but I've had so many people ask, and I finally started it, and I've enjoyed the first 2 episodes, and it's right up my alley. I love stuff like obviously the whole thing's about the Mystery Shack.
Yeah.
And I love anything like mysterious.
It's a very weird
That's why
show.
I love Rick and Morty as well. Yeah.
Um.
So those episodes will definitely come out, whether it goddamn kills me.
Yeah.
But Death Battle, of course, again, they couldn't give a crap. They will let me post whatever the hell I want, and
Yeah.
God bless their souls, because I've really enjoyed them. I'd seen so many people that done reactions to Death Battle, and I was like, I will never be one of those, because it's not a story or anything like that. It's just random episodes, and then I did 1, and then I did 2, and then I did 3, and now I'm on like 10. So it snowballed so quickly.
Yeah, and Death Battle is really fun because it's just like, not only do you get to see the novelty of the 2 different characters from stories we know, but it's also the relationship between the narrators, Wiz and Boomstick. I really like the dynamic that the voice actors have between them. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. But I'd seen Death Battle years ago. Obviously, they've been out for so long now. And I had seen them, and then when I heard Sarge's voice from Red vs. Blue, it was trippy, and I was like, I swear I've heard this voice before.
Yeah.
Like, where is it from? And then I realized it's from Death Battle. It's Boomstick. I was like, that's where I've heard the voice.
It's like, oh right,
But,
Death Battle is
yeah.
owned by Rooster Teeth, or at least was.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they're independent, which,
And-
hey, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I'm really proud of them.
And
But I'm actually rendering a Death Battle video right now.
Oh, really?
As we speak, so that'll be coming out once I end the call.
Oh, fun. Mind spoiling me on which one it is?
Yeah, sure. It was just a random one. I sort of came across it. I've, for some reason, been really into like horror movies.
Okay.
Because of Dead Meat. I
Yes.
mentioned it in the video.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely love Dead Meat. So, I've gotten really into just everything horror related. Where normally when I was a kid, oh Jesus Christ, you couldn't have caught me staring at a DVD cover of a horror movie. That's it. I'm up all night. But obviously, when I grew up, and I was just like, you know what it is.
Yeah.
I'll check what this tiny small channel with, you know, a casual 6 million subscribers is all about. And again, obviously I'm sure you probably feel the same way, like learning behind the scenes of movies and how they're made and all the stuff that goes into it. I absolutely love that stuff. I find it so fascinating. So Dead Meat got me into horror movies, and I saw Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, that episode.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what it is? I'll watch this one. It just randomly popped up, so I thought, you know what, screw it, we'll watch it.
I want to say that was
Called it immediately.
I want to say that was one of the earlier episodes of Death Battle. Like, that one was from a while ago.
I think about five or 6 years ago, maybe it came out. I think.
Okay. Yeah, it's been.
Yeah.
It's
It's definitely been a hot minute for them.
But yeah, like, and apparently, hold on, yawning. Sorry about that.
All good.
Apparently one of the death battles that's in this new season as they're independent is Ruby from Ruby versus Maka from Soul Eater.
I've not seen Soul Eater yet. I've
Really?
been meaning to for years to watch it, but I've just never gotten around to it.
This is one of the reasons why I wish you still did anime stuff, because I would.
I mean, I'd be more than happy to do it.
I would kill for Soul Eater reactions and another anime, unless you've seen it already. You probably have. Your Lie in April.
Yes, I've seen Your Lie in
Okay.
April. Thank you for bringing those memories up.
I love how I sounded so enthusiastic about that. just waiting for you to get traumatized.
Yeah. No, yeah. Again, this is all harking back to William. He went through his anime phase. We introduced him to Naruto, And this was back when I only watched Naruto as an anime. I'd never watched anything else apart from like, you know, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. But I told him about it, and he became a monster when it came to anime. Like he just spiraled off, and for I'll have to say like a good 3-4 years or something. He just every anime he was into it.
Okay.
Anything anime related, he loved it, and he gave me recommendations on different anime, and that was one of them. And yeah, I'll never forget him. Forgive it. That 5 centimeters per second. I hated that show because of the ending. I was like, why did I just feel like I just wasted my life?
Yeah.
Another. I really enjoyed that one.
I mean,
that was a fun one.
Your Lie is my favorite anime of all time because I'm a musician as well as just a reactor and just a regular nerdy doof. But God, that show, it's so. I'll never forgive them for doing Kaori so dirty. Like.
Yeah. Like you're bringing up a lot of traumatic feelings right now, because I'm starting to think like other anime, like Angel Beats is another one that absolutely traumatized me. Even though it's sort of like a backward thing because it's technically a happy ending.
Yeah.
But just it was so goddamn depressing the way they did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can't make a kill as well.
Yes.
That even though that's not really a depressing anime, but like a spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen the anime, because I know the manga's apparently done a lot differently. But everyone dies. literally. Like Akame is the only one, and I forget she's even the main character because you know it's solely based on Tatsumi for the longest time.
Yeah.
But the anime is literally like named after her. But yeah, I think she's the only one that survives. Her and like the actual captain, but she shortened her life, so she's got like a month to live. So yeah, that one got to me as well.
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's a rough one.
It's so weird because there are so many anime out there that people are like, you should watch this, and then you watch them and you're like, why would you recommend this to a human being? Why
Exactly.
Why do you do this to me? Yeah.
There's been quite a few anime that have done that to me, where I've watched them and then I've just thought, you know what it is, I preferred who I was a few days ago when I hadn't seen this.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess besides the reaction stuff, as of much more recently, you've been doing a lot of real life stuff. You know, story times, talking about specific things in the creative space, even acting skits. So kind of clue me into, I get, because I mean, reactions are the bigger thing, but clue me into how it is you kind of went down that road of content creation.
Well, the channels just more so became a varied, more so it's from reactions, but sort of varied in. It started off as an anime channel, and then I did a reaction to, I think it was My Hero's season 6 trailer, and that video had done better than any other trailer, like any other video that I had done before it.
Yeah.
So I kind of got like shoehorned, but I enjoyed doing them as well. So I never felt like pressured, like, oh, these are doing better, so I'm gonna have to do these ones. So I started doing reactions, and the reactions just got really good. But as times went on, I like making like the news, like when I did the video about Jack Doherty and crashing his car, the whole Liam Payne thing that happened.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know, like making it a bit more varied, and I enjoy making those videos. The quite easy to make. It's not like I have to really do any like heavy editing or anything. So it weirdly enough, I feel like even though the more editing you do, like non-reaction videos, it keeps people more engaged, but then at the same time, it sort of for me takes it away. Like it makes it more disingenuous. Like I'm trying to put a bunch of flashing colors in your face to keep you entertained.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, these days with YouTube Shorts and TikTok, and everybody's just brain rotted and can't keep a concentration for more than 20 seconds, you kind of need that. But I feel like it just sort of takes away from the video. So I just enjoy doing those, and comedy skits is, you know, like I said, I went to uni and I did screen performance. The main thing I would love to be is an actor. If I could have one job, I wouldn't like to be like an A-list celebrity actor where, as great as that sounds and as great as the money would be, when it comes to acting, like, money and fame just sort of go hand in hand. You can't be in lucrative films without the celebrity status coming with it, and I just don't think I would like to be a celebrity. Not at that level anyways. Like, I love like doing YouTube, and if YouTube ever took off to the point where it could be my job and I was walking down the street and people saw me and I got to interact with like fans and stuff, I would absolutely love that. But when it's like, you know, paparazzi sticking cameras in your face and you can't so much as walk down to the shop without, you know, worry that you're going to be kidnapped for ransom, like it starts to lose its appeal a little bit.
Definitely.
But yeah, with comedy skits, yeah, definitely, that's just the whole acting thing coming back around.
Yeah.
In hopes that maybe one day, you know, you never know. All it takes is that one call.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really cool. Like, seeing your humble beginnings as the anime guy, and all of a sudden, hey.
Yeah, look, he's on the big screen.
That's Ryan. I interviewed him at one point on my YouTube channel.
Be like, who was it that started off as? It was Timothy Chalamet. I think he used to do YouTube, and then obviously he's a A-list celebrity at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the only problem with acting is like, I never do things because I think, and I most certainly would not go into acting or YouTube because I think, oh, it's going to get me a lot of money. You see YouTubers and you see actors, of course, that are filthy rich, but if you go into something like this or anything really just for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Definitely.
But with acting, it's kind of one way or the other. It's the same with YouTube, really. It's like you're either making a lot or you're not making anything. There's no real like in between of you're just scraping by or you're making like enough to live on and have that little bit extra for, you know, your own special expenses.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it sucks that way, but that's just kind of the world we live in. So.
Yeah, as a channel who's not monetized, I totally get the whole scraping by thing.
Yeah, my channel only got monetized, like I say, because I think that's when I started doing my Ruby videos, and those videos just kind of took off, and I didn't even know you could get like, monetized as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Because I think it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watched hours. I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So the watch hours kind of take care of themselves, but it's definitely that crawl to the first 1,000, and then you know, from there it's just kind of hitting each milestone until you get to a point where, you know, getting up 10,000 subscribers in a day is just kind of like the norm for you.
Yeah, and
I think it's at that point you definitely know you've made it.
And it's like, I don't know if it's just me, but I never really want to get to that point. Like, I would love to be at a point where I can live comfortably doing YouTube as a job, but it's like, I never want to be at a point where I'm known so much that, like, 10,000 subscribers a day is the norm. I just, that just thinking about that, I don't know, makes me feel kind of dirty.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, that's looking at it in the right, like, mind frame in my books. Like it's the same with, like, the money. You never want to go into somewhere thinking, like, ooh, a lot of people in this field can make a lot of money, so that's why I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It should definitely be one of those things where, like, it's a hobby and it's something that you're passionate about and you will work towards. And then if you get to that point, great. But if you don't, then that's what it is. But I think the person that did it best was Markiplier.
Yes. When
everybody was doing the like, thank you, we love you, and thank you for everything you've done for us, and he was bawling his eyes out, and he was on an interview with someone, and they asked him why he was like that, and he basically said that
I got too successful.
It was just the thought that he's too successful and that he'll never have a connection with the fans the way that like maybe they have a connection with him because he doesn't know them.
Yeah.
And there's just that many that, I mean, he's what is it, like 20+ million or something? He's at some crazy amount of subscribers now.
I believe he just passed
like,
34 million.
Is it 34? It's even more than I thought. Yeah. So he's at that point now where you're never going to know 34 million people. Like, it's just never feasibly ever going to happen.
Yeah.
But the fact that he like got upset over the fact that he'll never like see those people and have a connection with them, even though they've give him so much. You get a lot of respect for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the best outlook I think you can have.
By the way, I was wrong there. It's 37 million now.
Oh,
I just looked. Yeah, 37 million subscribers and nearly 22 billion views on his channel.
God damn.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, he says the same. I think he was on the Logan Paul podcast and he was going about like he has like an unfathomably large amount of money that he just doesn't know what to do with.
Yeah.
That like, I mean, if you ever get to that point of just like, you know, you go from struggling to pay rent to I've got all this money, I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
But I mean that gets it conflicts a lot of people. Like when they get that amount of money, they actually don't know what to do with it, and it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
But I think when you think in your head like, oh, I know what to do with that money, you know, give it to me. But then if you ever actually put in that position, I think it's a lot different.
Yeah.
When you're in it rather than looking at it.
And especially when it's a job like YouTube where you get paid bi-weekly, at least in Markiplier's position.
Yeah.
Like, and that man gets bank, and it's like, what do you do?
Oh,
what do you do with that?
Well, I mean, from like, I couldn't even imagine from AdSense alone.
Yeah.
I mean, again, going back to the Penguins, I don't know if you watch Charlie.
Absolutely.
In his YouTube channel. Yeah. So he's like one of the like most grounded people I've ever seen in my life. Like he's never let money or like YouTube or anything ever affect him and be like, oh, you know, I'm better than this person. I mean, he wears the same white t-shirt from Walmart.
Yeah.
In every video, like he doesn't care. And like anyone that like tries to belittle people, he always makes a video being like who is it that made a video about the cookies? What's her name again? Pokimane.
Oh yeah.
When she had the whole controversy about the price of her cookies and things, yeah, and she sort of said on stream that basically if you're broke, you know, just say it if you can't afford the cookies, like, which is the fucked up thing to say. Like,
yeah.
You are literally shitting in the hands that feed you. Like, these people are giving you money. Your wealth is built off of their backs and their hard work.
Yeah.
But he's never like, I don't think he's ever been in any kind of controversy where it could like come back on him like that. Which is why I enjoy his videos so much, and I also find him absolutely hilarious as well.
Oh yeah, and I love that a lot of, if not all of his videos are just him going off the cuff, just saying what's on his mind.
Yeah,
I love that he brings back terms such as goofy or goober, and uses very, very small words as huge insults.
Yeah, the great, like, again, I mean, if you're watching this, like, I must have mentioned like 5 times, so you're welcome. But it was William was the reason I found Charlie's channel.
Yeah.
And because he hadn't seen him in ages, and he had sent me a link to, I think it was like a video about this weird prank that a school had played on its kids, where the parents would come in and the kids were like blindfolded. I say kids, I mean they were in like college, I think.
Oh yeah,
and like the parents
I think I
would
remember
kiss
this
them,
video.
and yeah, and Charlie made like a whole video on it, and it was like his sense of humor. I'm such a child, so I'll find like the most ridiculous things funny. Like my friend literally sent me a meme where it was like a picture of Voldemort and then a picture of a can of Pepsi, and it was like turn it upside down and it says Harry Potter, and if you turn the can of Pepsi upside down, it you can read it as is dead.
Oh.
Of the last movie, and that made me laugh. I've got such a dead sense of humor. I'm just dead inside.
Yeah.
I could watch like a loaf of bread just fall down, and for some reason it would make us giggle, just because why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, hearing him talk and just like you said, his vocabulary is unmatched.
Yeah. And I don't think we can talk about Charlie without mentioning the famous Sneeko battle that he had a year or so ago.
Oh yeah. That was great. That whole thing when he just like oh, you recognize what I'm wearing because it was what I wore last time I bent you over and spanked you. And he just whips out the gun. He's like, by the way, you're making yourself look stupid.
Yeah.
And then just whip. I don't know what. I'm not a gun enthusiast. I live in the UK, so we can't really get guns like that. So I have no idea what kind of gun it was.
As someone,
a semi-automatic rifle or some shit.
As someone who lives not only in America but near the Northwoods, my father owns firearms, and the laugh that I sent out of my mouth the day that video went out, my father came in here and he was like, "Dude, are you okay?" Because I was.
Your dad seems pretty cool. I was flicking through some of your playlist earlier on, and I've seen that you've done reactions with your dad and some of them.
We haven't done one in a while.
He seems like a cool dude.
But
yeah, I think you were reacting. I think it was Avatar.
Yeah,
I think it was
because he hasn't seen that.
The OG. He's missing out. It's so good.
Yeah. The things are tight money-wise around here, so we haven't been able to even afford some streaming services. So it's like we've been putting everything on pause. But to those of you who have been asking where he is, he will come back eventually. Maybe. I don't know. Like, things are really weird
just like the Avatar.
Nice connective tissue there.
No, tell me about that. The cost of living is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
It's just not. You work like so many hours just for literally all of it to go on just bills, and you've got nothing left.
Yeah. But
it's outrageous.
Given that we are living together and trying to put our funds together, things are looking up, but it's still a bit rough around here, so. Subscribe so I could get monetized.
Please. And I'd say the same, but I mean, I am monetized, but all 90% of my videos get demonetized because of copyright. So
yeah,
I get no money anyways. So, but you know, that one odd video that'll do it.
Yeah. Quoting you from your Doki Doki stream, I need the views.
Yeah, I think you clip that and put it in my. I just look so desperate.
Yeah.
But it's true. So you know what? Who am I to say anything?
Yeah. So I guess with that, with the talk of the, everything that you've kind of reacted to over the past 2 years, I want to say, the comedy skits and the story times. What do you think is next for you in terms of content? Just staying the way things are? Or are there any little things that you can tell us as audience members that you're going to be doing? Stuff that's cool? Or
I'm kind of a just go with the flow, day by day kind of guy. I haven't got any big ones that I'm trying to do. I am definitely trying to stream more. That's a massive problem with me because I've got no time, and by the time I get back from work, or if I've got my daughter or anything, it's such a pain to be able to try and stream. But I'm trying to sort those out, so streaming is definitely on the horizon. But as for videos, I'm a super open kind of person. If people wanted to see a particular kind of video from me, I am more than happy to try and accommodate to do those. Whether it be something as weird as, I don't know, an eating challenge. You see people do food challenges and stuff like that. I do that. I would happily do that. Yeah, I'm a huge foodie. I love my food, and I can eat quite a lot. Not quite as much as Beard Meats Food or Matt Stone or anything like that. I don't have that kind of appetite, but I could definitely try.
You're not
I'm
Nikocado back in his glory days.
Oh no, he's a different kettle of fish. He's a different beast. I could not eat the way he ate. I think if I ate one of his meals, that would be me done for the week.
Yeah.
I have a huge phobia of being fat. I don't know why, but I always have.
Yeah.
Not to the point where it becomes an unhealthy thought in my head. My God, I'm eating this food. I'm gonna end up 16 stone. Which, I mean, to be fair, 16 stone is not even that bad. I'm gonna end up 40 stone. But it's always if I ate a giant fat thing, saturated fatty meal, it would just play on my mind. I'd be like, well, you've had your fun. You're not eating for the next 6 days though, because my God, you've got enough calories in you right now to last.
But yeah, like I just, I guess we've run kind of through all of our topics.
Hell yeah.
So, to those of you who are listening and who are still here, thank you for having more than the attention span of a goldfish, because that's what we need on YouTube these days. Please have
Yeah, we
more than
really
the
do.
attention span of a goldfish. Anyway, for those of you who are still listening, thank you for being here. Leave likes, leave comments on our discussions. William, as Ryan here mentioned, if you're there, comment. We know you're here. We know. And
We know.
I'll leave the links to all of the Rykage socials in the description. If you have a link card or something like that, you could share that with me and I'll put it there. Otherwise, I'll just leave the links that I know of.
Yeah. I think I have a beacons link that's in my chat, in the notifications or whatever.
Oh,
Can't
okay.
think of the word. But I'll find it. I'll send you.
Yeah. But yeah, so thank you all for listening, and that is about it from us. Peace in due time.
Awesome. Yes. Goodbye, everybody.